Morning from Valencia. We're live in Spain and ready to bring you the Valencian Grand Prix. Just a few more moments and we'll switch to the starting straight for the Motogp class race. As you can see, we're heading to the starting grid where everyone is ready for the start of the race. Today is a perfect day for racing. The sun is shining and temperatures are mild. Most of the riders plumping straight for medium tyres at the front and rear. Riders in position, the green flag waving at the back of the field. Maximum focus now. Only a few seconds before the start of the Valencia Grand Prix.
Looks like Vinales has just got the slight upper hand in the first sector. He's able to just eat away a 10-4-2 on Spargo in the first split. Maybe a little bit more confidence, a little bit more straight line braking stability on the factory at Aprilia, and then he seems to be able to get it turned better as well in the first couple of corners. But clearly it looks like he does have the upper hand, and then Spargo really fights back, particularly in the third sector. That's where Aleix seems to be marginally quicker than his teammate. The gap's still sort of stable around that half a second as Miller's KTM slips right, it slips left, and then he manages to drag the apex somehow through turns 10 and 11. Clinging on here for a top 10 is the Aussie.
While the gap is around half a second or more, Maverick Vinales will feel relatively happy with that until Aleix Spargo starts to close it even further. Whether Aleix Spargo is just keeping something up his sleeve, just making sure he's got something to attack with on the final 2 or 3 laps, or whether he's just basically going for all he's worth, and this is the pace of the 2 Aprilias. This is Miguel Oliveira, who's going to be fighting in rearguard action for 4th place. Oliveira now firmly buried in the 142. He's lost another 2 tenths last time round to Zarco.
Aleix Spargo then, the gap under half a second. That's the smallest gap we've seen for quite some time. And Aleix Spargo, hand over fist, is just eating up the meters, isn't he, behind Vinales? He might be close to the to attack down the hill into turn number 5. Don't think he's going to risk it. No, he's got time here. He can be patient. He will feel at this stage of the Grand Prix, he's got the better pace, the better grip than Maverick Vinales. He's just got to make sure that he picks the perfect moment to make the pass clean, and then he'll feel that he can break Vinales late on.
Well, the brilliant call, Aleix Spargo, the captain. He's been so central to the development and the improvement of this team. He will recognise how important a result this is, so he will make sure that this is clean. He won't send a daring move at the inside of Vinales. He won't come from an awful long way back. He'll make sure that it's clean and make sure that it's comfortable, because Aleix Spargo will be well aware of the kind of history that Aprilia are on the verge of here.
Well, here we go. Then what's going on there? It's Zarco and Oliveira, isn't it? The battle that's raging for 4th place. Maverick Vinales couldn't get the better of a stunning defensive rearguard yesterday, could he, from Pecco Bagnaia? Well, he needs to take some lessons from Bagnaia in that sprint yesterday. Good race this, cracking scrap going on between Oliveira and Zarco for 4th place. On board then with Aleix Spargo. He clicks the Aprilia now into top gear, 355 kilometres an hour. This is where he passed Bagnaia yesterday to win the sprint, and he's on the inside of Maverick Vinales into the first corner. Out to the long lap goes Maverick Vinales. Aleix Spargo then, he'll see that on his left-hand side. Vinales then comes back onto the circuit. Is that the big key moment of this Catalan Grand Prix? Because for the very first time, on course for the Dream Double, Aleix Spargo leads.
Nothing wrong from my point of view in what Aleix Spargo did there. He was up the inside, and Maverick Vinales just did not want to give the lead up, so tried to hang in there for as long as he could. The problem Vinales has got now is, of course, he wants to try and get back on terms with his teammate Aleix Spargo, but he did take the shortcut across turns 2 and 3. So, of course, if he doesn't give up a second, he's going to get a 1-lap penalty. But if he gives up a second, he can't win the race anymore.
Crikey, look at that front tyre, the graining on the right-hand side of Maverick Vinales' front tyre. That's why he has not been able to resist this pressure building from
0.1 seconds behind his teammate, who looked a little bit deep himself there, didn't he, into turn one. We've got 3 laps to go, and for now, Aleix Espargaro, it's about making sure he makes no mistakes. It's making sure that he's got some grip left in his tyres, because we've already seen the state that his teammates are in, and Aleix Espargaro is 3 laps away, and we remind Aleix, it's 3 laps, not 2, away from a momentous victory and finally banishing the ghost of 1 year ago.
You can just imagine now talking to himself inside his helmet, can't you? One more lap, Aleix, come on. He's not going to make that same mistake again. That's the mistake you make once in your Grand Prix career. Here is Jorge Martin then, who has had a very, very lonely ride to 3rd place. He got the dream launch off the line. Of course, we know that the kit is so strong. Recently off the line, he was very early lead in this Grand Prix before Maverick Vinales picked him off. He's still been the showstopper in terms of the shoulder, elbow and upper arm rubbing coming through turn number 5, but here in Barcelona all weekend, the Aprilias, particularly the factory Aprilias, have just been on a completely different level. Still though, a valuable podium in terms of the championship for Jorge Martin. He's been struggling for Sunday podiums of late, so this will be a welcome boost. He can relax, he can cruise, because he's not going to have anything for Vinales, and he certainly isn't going to have to worry about his teammate Johan Zarco, who's almost, 3 seconds further back up the road. 2 laps to go then here in Barcelona, less than 10 kilometres away from a fairy tale double win. Revenge will be sweet. Redemption is coming for Aleix Espargaro after what happened to him last year when he celebrated too early. He goes in hot though, doesn't he? He's going to be giving those Aprilia crew some nervy moments. But his family and friends, they can't watch the screens.
Well, just a quick update on what's going on further back as we take a look at Aleix Espargaro
before his late blunder. But it's been perfection personified this weekend. He led the way on Friday in both practice sessions, 2nd on the grid. The only block this copybook was missing out on pole position against Pecco Bagnaia, as Luca Marini was getting the better of the inter-team battle at Mini VR46. Marco Bezzecchi still somehow battling for that 11th place despite his soft front tyre choice. His hand was forced, of course, after he was caught up in that first corner carnage. But it's 1 lap to go for Aleix Espargaro, and he is keeping it pinned. He's keeping it full throttle. There's no premature celebration, as the history will not repeat itself. As we mentioned then, just 4.6 kilometres standing between Aleix Espargaro and a memorable weekend. And what about the factory Aprilia team as well, as they are well set for an historic 1-2 for the first time in their Motogp history. Does not get any better than that.
Well, I thought to
revenge. Home sweet home for Aleix Espargaro as he completes the dream double here in Barcelona. It's an historic Aprilia 1-2 as well. Aleix Espargaro wins his home Grand Prix by just under 4/10 of a second. Maverick Vinales takes his role in history as well with 2nd place. Jorge Martin comes over the line in a lonely 3rd. Zarco is 4th. 3 Aprilias in the top 5 with Oliveira 5th. Alex Marquez takes 6th place, ahead of Quartararo, Miller, Augusto Fernandez and Gian Antonio in 10th. There was some
the Motogp final classification together. We're heading to the Parc Fermé with the live coverage where the 3 podium finishers have just arrived. The winner is over the moon and quite rightly indulging in a few celebrations with his team. We're live for the podium ceremony where there is an Italian flag flying from the top step. A very clean win in great style. Bagnaia beat his opponents with a clear victory today.